So today I want to talk about building clarity and certainty into your content, because one of the biggest reasons we find why people actually hesitate to reach out or even buy from you isn't because they do not like you or your offer. It's just that they're not certain it will work for them. And it's very likely they've tried similar things before, but let's be honest, loads of people are actually tired of spending time and money on those solutions that are just not delivering, and it's been happening over and over again. Yeah. So today I wanted to share with you over about a 3-minute video how you can actually build clarity and certainty into your content so that people will start to feel confident, and then they'll feel ready to take action with you when they are ready. Yeah. The reality is, though, that most of your potential clients will have already tried something similar to what you're actually offering. And it's very likely they're thinking, I've heard this before. How do I know this is going to work this time for me? You've gone through this yourself. You understand how this all works. So the question is, how are you going to cut through all that doubt? Well, it does come to two things. It comes down to two things, which is clarity and certainty. Yeah. You think about it for yourself. So the first thing you really want to be is you want to be crystal clear on your own process. Okay, this can be difficult. Okay, so first of all, you want to actually create your customer journey so that you yourself are clear on what you do, which can be difficult. Okay, it takes time. But first of all, you need to make it super clear on what you do and how it works. And you don't want to leave any room for confusion. Okay, so you can like spell out the steps that you take, and you want to make it apparent why those steps actually matter for this to work for them. People actually do need to understand that your method is different, even if it's the same offer. It's your method, it's you, it's your strategy, it's the way you get things done that's different. And they also need to know exactly why it will work. What do they need to do for this to work? So an example could be, instead of saying something like, I help you get more clients, you could say something like, I'm going to use my mentors example, actually. I'll show you how to build a simple, what did she say? A simple, repeatable $5 video ad system that consistently brings in leads without draining your budget. Okay, that's one of my mentors' sayings for sure. I'm sure I've heard that so many times. But can you see, by clearly outlining how her service would work, your audience just feels more confident that they will actually be able to understand what they're investing in, and they'll be able to understand if it's the thing that they're actually looking for, okay? Rather than just saying, I help you get more clients. It's like, well, how? How many times have I been told that in the past? Handed over my cash, handed over my card, and then no clients have appeared. Now, the second thing you want to do is you want to give people certainty by acknowledging their doubts. It's about knowing how us as humans work, okay? And you know how you feel. And you think about it, people are constantly trying to protect themselves from making the same mistakes twice or 3 times or 4 times. And nobody wants to waste time or money right now. Well, no one ever does, but it's even more apparent right now with where the world is and the economies. Now, you want to acknowledge that. You want to say things like, if you tried running ads before and it didn't work, then you're not alone. Yeah, because most ad strategies do fail because a lot of them are actually focusing on spending big rather than actually starting small and on optimizing. Actually, that's why our approach is different. Yeah, we do start by testing video ads, and we use a very low budget just to test the waters, and we do it over a 7-day period, to cold traffic. So you're not going to lose thousands and thousands on seeing what works. We already use a tried and tested formula, and then we test with a small budget to see what works. And we have KPIs we know that work to check for. So it's actually really, really economical and what's the word? It's just safe, And also the really cool thing about the way we do it as well is I feel like nothing goes to waste, because all testing builds your audience as well, which you can then retarget with low-cost ads later. But the thing is, though, when you directly address people's concerns, especially your ideal clients' concerns and doubts, it's actually showing that you understand their experience, and that's what builds trust. If you've shown them that you've been in the trenches and you've gone through it already, and you're using empathy to show that you understand what they're going through right now, that is going to build trust. It's going to show that you know what you're doing, okay? Now, the third thing that works really well is the ability to actually share stories that demonstrate success. Because people love proof. Don't we all love proof, yeah? So if you can share stories, just practice them, and case studies as well. Yeah, if you don't have any case studies right now, that is a really good thing to build into your system, okay? And you can do paid case studies as well if you don't feel like putting your time and effort into just doing free ones. But if you have a case study or two which clearly illustrates how your method has worked for other people, people can connect to that. You know, we have had some really cool case studies in our past just where we've been testing different things and people who trust us go, I'll do this with you. You know, I know that one of our clients, I'm not going to name her name, she was actually terrified of even recording video ads, let alone running them. And she had wasted so much money on other, I'm going to say, shiny objects or following gurus' suggestions. And the way we got around this, obviously, is just doing what we normally do, which is we started with just a £5 ad. Yeah. And within a week, she was getting more engagement than she'd ever had before, and she was standing out in her local community, and she had people coming up to her saying, I saw you on my Facebook feed, I saw that you had an ad out, it looks really great. And it gave her so much confidence because she could see that what we was doing was working, but also she didn't feel like she was wasting money or spending money on what she didn't understand. And now she just uses the same method all the time to consistently actually just show up in front of people, build an audience. And when she wants to put an offer out, she knows that people who are her ideal clients are going to see her. Okay. So just go back on that, you know, showing that your method actually works for real people who are like them creates that certainty that your approach isn't just a theory or an idea that you have. It's actually something that's real, that's already been proven in real life. Okay. So I'm going to keep this short today. So if you want people to actually feel more confident about working with you and you want to build that trust, you want to focus on building clarity and certainty into your content or into your whole structure and your method of working with people. So let's just take a few endings here, like a few bullet points. So first of all, be crystal clear about what it is you do and how it works. So create a customer journey, and then you've got the steps that you know works, okay? Just think about clients you've already worked with and what worked. And then the other thing is you want to acknowledge their doubts and explain why your method will be different this time for them. And then the third thing is, of course, to share real life stories to prove how it would work for them, okay? And, you know, when people actually understand what it is you do and how it all works, they are way more likely to reach out and take action. You know, in fact, why don't you go create a piece of content right now based upon those three things, okay? And like, you know that with the more you practice this, the more confident you're going to feel, and the more confident your audience is going to feel too about connecting with you, okay? So if you want some help with this is what we do, okay? Feel free to reach out to me. I'm doing 10-minute calls right now to go through what it is you have already and to see if this is right for you. And I'd love to help you get up and running, okay? So just drop a message below or reach out to me on Messenger. Okay, cheerio.